And right now we're in Kalbajar, the region in the north of Republic of Artsakh, which is a disputed region that led to the Armenian-Azerbaijan War, both this war and in the early 90s. This region, in just a matter of days, is going to be turned over to Azerbaijan in accordance with the trilateral agreement between Russia, Armenia, and Azerbaijan, which many of the locals here view as was done without their consent, and they don't trust what is said in it, because in the agreement it says that Armenians are allowed to stay in their homes and in the regions when they're turned over to Azerbaijan. But the locals say that that's just not a possibility, because they would come under persecution from Azerbaijan. And in this region, almost all of the homes we've seen have been burned by the people leaving them because they don't want to leave their homes to the people that come from Azerbaijan and Azerbaijan government. Maybe even dug up some of their loved ones to move their graves. And now we're at this restaurant which the owners are dismantling so it does not fall into the hands of Azerbaijan. And we're going to have a talk with the owner and see what he has to say about the situation. So please like this video, subscribe to my channel if you're new, and share it across all social media, because the world needs to know what's really happening and what has happened to the people of the Republic of Artsakh, because they need help, and we only hope the best for them. So please subscribe and share. Hello. Can you please explain a little bit about yourself?
I live in USA for the last 30 years, but I'm always in touch with my homeland and helping where I can, and my heart is here. So we built this place here in our land. Unfortunately, we have to demolish because we're giving up these lands according to the government. So this is where we are. I tend to help and be with my friends for a week.
And so you're kind of like an owner?
Owner, yeah. It wasn't a business like for profit. It was more like a development to create jobs here and to create opportunities for the villagers and people who live here.
Like a non-profit thing.
We never looked at it as a profit. We did it because we wanted to have a here.
And it's like a restaurant, or what?
It was a restaurant and two cabins here. Beautiful cabins. People could stay, enjoy the restaurant, enjoy nature, go to the churches. Yeah.
And why do you feel you have to remove everything? Because as I understand, in the trilateral agreements between Russia, Armenia, and Azerbaijan, it says that Armenians and refugees can stay in their homes.
I guess we don't have no trust because history shows that we almost impossible to, for where we stand right now. Nobody believes we can coexist with Azeris.
And why do you think that they included that in the agreements, and that's what they're telling the world? Why do you think this is?
There is no trust. There is no. The history shows that whenever we trusted, then we suffered greatly. So it's in people's minds. Maybe in the future, maybe next 100 years, something will change. But for now, by myself, I don't see it happening.
Understand.
Yeah.
Okay. Is there anything that you feel that the people in the United States needs to know about Artsakh?
Especially Christians in U.S. They should know, they should understand that this is one of the oldest Christian lands, and Armenians protected Christianity against invaders or thousands of years, and we're standing up against them right now. So especially people who are called themselves Christians, they should keep in mind. That's just my take. Otherwise, it's just a geopolitical. It's a big geopolitical games also going on. So I don't know if like average American cares that much about geopolitical for far lands.
Can you maybe give us a little tour of the place? Have a look?
The place was such a beautiful place. I can show you old pictures. Too bad you didn't see it before.
What was there?
It was a bar. There's a beautiful bar here with a big beer thing. That's a kitchen right there. A full kitchen with everything. Huge fireplace, tables, big windows. Second floor, open balcony there. So,
And are you going to totally remove
as much as we can. I mean, the other thing is to burn it down, but it's even more tragic to burn it down. So we want to salvage as much as we can.
We've seen many homes here burned. How many people are staying? Are there anyone staying?
I don't know, but I don't think anyone will stay when they move in. I don't think anyone can stay.
What do you
Honestly, there is a lot of unknown for me too. Like I don't know. I'm hoping a miracle, but you never know.
And how long did this restaurant work?
A year and a half. With the COVID thing, also it was closed last summer, most of it. So
I understand.
it wasn't long that it was working. It wasn't that long.
When you were working, were there tourists that come?
A lot of tourists from Armenia, from abroad. Yeah, we had a lot of tourists, hikers, bikers coming. It was amazing. Yeah.
And locals as well, I assume?
I'm sorry.
And locals as well?
Locals too. Yes. Yes.
Nice. Are there many places like this in the area?
No.
No?
No, not in this. Not. Probably not in all Artsakh you can find similar. Yeah, we employed a lot of people from surrounding villages, and that was our reason for creating this place. And also we enjoyed it being here, of course.
And so you said you were in the United States for the last 30 years. Are your roots directly in this region, or?
No, I was raised and born in Armenia until I was 20 and moved to US. But I always kept in touch.
And did you move to the US because of the war?
No, that was still Soviet Union when I moved out. It was 1988. Just before.
Yes. Good timing, I guess, maybe. Or bad timing, however you want to look at it. And what was the name of the restaurant?
Ari Resort. Ari Resort, yes.
Okay. Very nice.
I can show you pictures of what it used to be.
Really? That'd be nice. Okay, and again, is there anything in particular you want to tell the people in the United States about what has happened here and what has happened to the people?
Honestly, I don't know what to tell them. Honestly, people in the United States busy with their own problems right now. With all the presidential elections, I don't think people who care, they care. People who don't, they
don't.
They don't.
Yeah, that's true. So just another example of how these people are evacuating their homes and their businesses because they don't trust in the fact of what the agreement, the trilateral agreement says, that they'll be able to stay, because they know Armenians won't be let to stay by the Azerbaijan government. It's just not a possibility. So we're going to continue to bring you the facts on the ground. So please remember, I'm an independent crowdfunding journalist. So share the link in the description of my GoFundMe page. Like this video, share it across all social media, and if you're new, subscribe to this channel. We're out.
Azerbaycan.
لا все, сагат каракик, бола.
Tamam, her ikram.
Hey, bağlı.